Beloved.
Black.
Children.
We.
Beloved.
Black.
Children.
We.
Beloved.
Black.
Children.
We.
Beloved.
Black.
Children.
We beloved Black children is an unapologetic affirmation.
A commitment.
A proclamation.
A promise to Black children and people everywhere.
You will see our book cover is colorful and lively, centered with the Sankofa symbol, which originates from the Akan people of Ghana. The symbol means to go back to the past and bring forward to which is useful. In other words, it is a symbol of importance of learning from the past. Therefore, you will see on our book cover some names of our ancestors who dedicated their lives loving Black children. For this, we honor their legacy with deference, guidance, and love.
We are excited about our new book, We Beloved Black Children, Learning to be Literate about the African Diaspora. Our authors are professors, K-12 teachers, K-12 students, people from the USA, and authors from Cameroon, Ghana, Jamaica, Nigeria, and South Africa. We see African diaspora literacy as a way of healing Black children. We want to give a special shout out to the Spencer Foundation for funding this initial work. Now, before you judge a book by its cover, because of its title, We Beloved Black Children, might not be what you expected, let us explain why we decided to use African American language. African American language is called Ebonics, Black English, and a lot of other names. It's the most distinct language variety in the US, and despite what you've heard, it's a highly sophisticated language with distinct features that other dialects do not have. For example, it has 5 verb tenses. It has words like be. That be is very powerful because it means the past, the present, and the future. Linguists refer to that as the habitual be. So when we say we beloved Black children, it means that we love them in the past, we love them in the present, and we will love them in the future. No one can make us not love them. We love them 24/7, all day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year, 66 days of the year, 525,600 minutes. That is deep love, and that's why we wrote this book.
Around the world, there are parallel forms of African American language. In the United States, Africa, the Caribbean, South America, and so forth. We are proud of this rich language heritage, just as we are proud of Black children. The lives and welfare of our children and future generations are in danger if we, as adults, do not help them learn and value their history and understand contemporary issues that affect us all as Black people. The goal of this book is to share the wisdom that we have learned as professors and teachers and parents. At the same time, we recognize the wisdom among Black people from all walks of life in the family, communities, social and political organizations, and educational institutions. Collectively, we can use our love for Black children to make the world a better, safer, and more humane place for them.
The distinguished scholar of Afrocentric theory, Dr. Molefi Asante, wrote a book about his grandmother's language. Our language is a remnant of and the evidence of our Africanity. Also, the late historian Sterling Stuckey wrote about Paul Robeson and his family in a groundbreaking book, Slave Culture. We hope that our book will lead us to our scholarship as support for our practice. So I want to give one example. This is what Sterling Stuckey wrote about Paul Robeson's childhood. In this setting, with continued segregation of Southern Negroes in Princeton, where Robeson grew up surrounded by aunts, uncles, and cousins, it is not surprising that Robeson in later years said he immediately found in West African languages a kinship of rhythm and intonation with the Negro English dialect, which he had heard spoken around him as a child. It was to him like a homecoming, he said. His family, together with other Black people who had migrated to New Jersey, provided Robeson with unusual exposure to Southern culture. This was America's most direct path to Africa. Robeson's story is a powerful example of diaspora literacy, African diaspora literacy. We intend our book as a homecoming for African people wherever we are.
Chapter 1, Open Love Letter to Black Families and Communities. It's a heartfelt love letter to Black people all around the world. In this letter, we ask you to stop and think. Stop and think about how Black children are being harmed in schools that were never designed for them to thrive. Stop and think about the curriculum that murders our Black children's spirits. Stop and think about how we can heal our children from these travesties. In this letter, we will give you some tangible ways to protect our children and foster Black brilliance, Black joy, Black resistance, and most of all, Black love, because we be loving Black children.
We wrote chapter 2, Say It Loud.
I'm Black and I'm proud.
And we are looking at the beauty, brilliance, and belonging
In our homes, classrooms, and communities.
We invite you to read chapter 2 to find out more in learning engagements you'll be able to use with your students, because you, as we do, be loving Black children.
Hi, I'm Shaquetta Moultrie here with my colleague and good friend, Julia Dawson. Both of us, along with our other good friend, Antoinette Gibson, wrote a chapter in We Be Loving Black Children. Have you ever met a young lady who was uncomfortable in the skin she was in?
Or have you known any Black youth who have had their names mispronounced or disrespected in any way?
Finally, do you know any Black youth who are more interested in the Black justice movement? If so, you can find more information about all of those things in Chapter 3, Great Rising, in the book We Be Loving Black Children.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mayor Muller, and I'm an assistant professor at the University of South Carolina's College of Education and co-founder of the Cutler Jewish Day School, and I'm honored to have written Chapter 4 in this book. In the chapter, I highlight the amazing abilities of Black children to detect, confront, and counter anti-Black messages, and provide a set of questions to help children develop this skill. I believe in the brilliance of Black children and hope that this chapter helps children push back against any words or images that confront their brilliance.
Hi, my name is Ricardo Neal, President and CEO of We Will All Rise. And I wrote about the power of mentoring young men of color in my chapter. Let me introduce these amazing young men using what I affectionately call love notes, words from various text messages to me. I really appreciate having you in my corner, Mr. Neal. You gave me guidance when it was needed in my life, and I'm forever grateful for that. I'm just checking on you, old man. I miss you, Mr. Neal. I love you.
Hi, my name is Jamon DeBose. I'm a former Aiken High student, as well as the next generation youth leader.
Hi, my name is Ms. Kayla Hostetler. I'm an Aiken High School English teacher, Center of Education and Equity of African American Students teacher, and a next generation mentor.
Our chapter is a conversation between both of our two perspectives on building a warming and unapologetic, loving environment, both physically and emotionally for Black children.
Our chapter focuses on techniques you can use within a classroom, but also in any community space to create a family community for Black children.
And through love and compassion, we be family.
Hello. Co-author Dr. Joy Howard and I, Shayla Calhoun, are so excited and honored to present Chapter 7, The Crown on Your Head, Teaching African Diaspora Literacy Through Hair in the new book, We Be Lovin' Black Children. Joy, a professor and mother of 3 Black mixed-race children, and myself, a teacher, doctoral student, and mother of 4 Black children, respond to the many examples of conflict over Black hair in recent news. By pulling from Dr. Gloria Boutte and her co-authors' work on African diaspora literacies based on A. Wade Boykin's research, we put forward 3 dimensions of African culture as an entry point into discussing the importance of hair freedom amongst Black youth. In this chapter, we discuss the importance of hair freedom by sharing our expertise and knowledge by offering ways to teach about Black natural hair in literature in engaging, positive, and meaningful ways. In this way, we create an inviting space for adults and children to learn about and discuss and welcome Black hairstyles into various learning spaces. Check out this chapter in We Be Lovin' Black Children.
Along with our colleague, Lasana Kasimbi, our chapter describes the importance of enrichment programs like Elevate and Freedom Schools in teaching our children about Blackness in the world.
We encourage parents and communities to support these programs so that Black children understand that their place in the world is connected to a rich history and culture.
Ashe.
I am Clement Lambert, Associate Professor and Chair of the Department of Teaching and Learning at Northern Arizona University. I wrote Chapter 9, African Diaspora Literacy in Jamaica and the Wider Caribbean. In this chapter, I provide snapshots of cultural issues regarding color consciousness, as well as insights on the influence of European educational systems on Caribbean people. I also highlight paradoxes where selected Caribbean icons have been at the forefront of promoting African diaspora literacy, yet there is a need to make this more systematic and policy entrenched. I am sure you'll enjoy this chapter, so dive in and read.
Hello, I'm Dr. Samuel Nteusu, a faculty at the University of Ghana. We have reached a stage where Black identity and knowledge system needs to be projected globally. My contribution to the book, We've Been Loving Black Children, is supposed to just do that, give knowledge, project African and Black identity. Thank you.
So now what? Everywhere we go, we always get the question, well, what resources should we use to help us teach through Black children? Chapter 11 focuses on various different resources from YouTube channels, university centers, trade books, children's books, podcasts, and many more. But we warn that prepackaged curriculum and all these resources are just the beginning. You have to do the work, you have to do identity work, and you have to love Black children. Thank you.
We be loving Black children.